And we'll wait for this thing to keep it going. All right, here we go. All right, what's going on, everybody? It's your good old boy JR coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada. As always, Brandon is joining us on what is the crazy journey called the 2023 NFL mock draft. So after today's pick, there are only 10 more picks. 10 more picks, folks. That's it. Then we have our super draft show on the 23rd of April. And then we have our draft on April 27th, first round, man. I cannot believe it's already here. I think it's going to be exciting. I think everything's starting to come into fruition now of what's going to happen. I think it's starting to, I think we're starting to realize, I think this is what's about to happen. And I think it's people, if you're a fan of a certain team and you don't like the decision it's going, well, get ready. It looks like it's heading that way. But today we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Chargers. Good season. Really good season, 10-7. Finished second in the AFC West, a very hard division. Not the way you would think their season would end. It was very bad. It was just a very tough break on how their season ended. And Brandon is over here cackling because he knows where I'm going with this. And yeah.
I want people to hear me laugh. I feel so bad for Chargers fans. The little that they are, the little Charger fans that they have. It's just I've never met a Chargers fan in my life. I just want to point that out. I've never met
They're out there.
They're there. It's like Clippers fans. You don't really know they exist until they win.
I actually do have a really great friend who is a diehard Clipper fan. So I can tell you from experience, I know one Clipper fan.
One. Okay, one.
Okay. And I'm very proud to know that one. Okay. I'm very proud to know that one. But it is the Chargers today. And look, 10-7, just a good all around season. They finally made the playoffs for the first time under Justin Herbert under center. And, even though he was hurt, he still put up video game numbers. They were the 13th best offense. The problem was that defense, man, 21st. Now, that's not as bad. That's not bad. It's just when your head coach is a defensive coordinator, and last year they spent a lot of money to fix that defense and still find a way to blow it, it's just eventually, I don't know. It's just eventually you have to start looking at yourself and saying, wow, what do I want in this team? Like, what is he the right guy for this? If you're the owner of the Chargers, if you're the Spanos family members, you really have to be thinking to yourself, is this dude really the right dude for this job? It's great. It's great. You landed a good opposition. You landed Justin Herbert, who I don't know why a lot of people had him the third, fourth best quarterback in his draft class, but whatever. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I do not, everything that the Chargers are doing, they're writing a way to, you like the Chargers roster, but it's like something's always going to happen to where they're never going to meet the expectations of people. Something always happens to the Los Angeles Chargers. So Justin Herbert, again, putting up, even though he was hurt he took a shot on that week 2 Thursday Night Football matchup. He's still 725 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. He's still even on one good throwing it up. Austin Eckler, only 915 rushing yards, but he did get 13 rushing touchdowns to go along with, which led the team, by the way, 107 receptions for 722 yards, 5 touchdowns. And I'm Mike Williams, leading in receiving yardage with 895 and 4 touchdowns. The Chargers are good. They're a really good football team. Their offense is good. It can go up there. It can work with anybody, just about anybody in the league out there. It's just what kills me is, this defense, man. It's all the name of defense, and that's the best you could put as a unit is 21. Really? That's the best you can do. Now I get it. J.C. Jackson was hurt. Their prized offseason from last year, they did lose Nwazu to you know, Seattle for a year. It's just one of those. I'll never get it. You look at the names, everything. They should be better than what they really are, and they never are. They underachieve every single year. They underachieve so bad, and I don't know what else to tell you. Just NFL coach. Brandon Staley did his job for 3 years and teaching them how to play, but Brandon Staley has to know that eventually the quarterback is better than you. They need a real NFL head coach. They need a real one. And I'm surprised Sean Payton came out of retirement this year because I thought they were going to wait for him to get fired and then he can go to the Chargers, and Sean Payton to the Chargers would have been a way better fit than Russell Wilson and Sean. But, it is what it is. Look, defensively, I have no problem with saying that. They have some pretty good characters defensively. Drew Tranquill, it is what it is now. He's now in Kansas City. He went to a division rival, which sucks, but hey, what are you going to do? No, Kansas City or Denver? He went to one of those two. I think it was Kansas City.
Oof.
Yeah, I think it was Kansas City. Yeah. Let me tell you what they lost. Anyway, let me tell you what the Chargers lost in him. They lost 146 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, and 1 interception. That's what they lost in one player. Khalil Mack led the team with 8 sacks. It's great. Bryce Callahan, 3 interceptions. That's the problem I have. J.C. Jackson was hurt. Asante Samuel. I don't get it. I really don't. When you look at this team defensively, you look at this team defensively and you say, man, they should be way better than 21. It should be way better than 21. And again, here we are talking about them again. Great team, always going to fall short because they always underperform. And, there was at one point where they almost did not make the playoffs. Like, there was at one point where they came to Vegas. They lost again in Vegas. And it's like, oh, my God, here we go again. And I don't know what else to say other than the Chargers just always seem to underperform. And I'm getting to a point where it's like, well, when's it going to change? When's it going to change for this team? So, Brandon, go ahead, man. I got nothing. The only word I can describe this team is underperforming. They always underperform, and I got nothing more. So, Brandon, go ahead, my man.
Oh, you gonna give me the floor? Okay. Here we go. The Chargers, for lack of a better word, will never be better than the teams they're supposedly competing against. There's always going to be something that they just cannot get past. Either it be the Phillip Rivers era, when they couldn't get past Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Big Ben. They just couldn't get past them. Didn't matter. Even at the end of that stretch, when you had Peyton Manning come to Denver, you just couldn't get past them. And you had a Damian Thomason, Antonio Gates, Quinn Jammer, Sean Merriman. You had a team before. Vincent Jackson. You had a team before. Like, you had a straight team before. And they just Darren Sproles. Like, you had a lot of players. I've seen this enough in my life to know the Chargers just will never match what everybody thinks they're going to match. In other words, they're the Minnesota Vikings. They're the Cowboys. They're the Atlanta Falcons. A lot of great teams. Just something's missing. And it's always going to be that way. Nothing has made me feel any way this more than this season. When I kept saying, I got to see it to believe it. Yeah, they got in the playoffs. What happened when they got in the playoffs? The first quarter, it looked like the Chargers that we always thought they could be. The second half of that game was the Chargers that we always knew they are. They show up. They might do some things. They may look good in the first half. It looks beautiful. Second half comes. They forget how to play football. How the hell do you forget how to play? You played almost 30 minutes of clean football in a 30-minute stretch. 15 minutes later, you get on the field, and then 15 minutes after that, going into the fourth quarter, you're only up by 6. How is that possible? Juan, you said J.C. Jackson got injured. That is true. But we forget the fact they also demoted him at some point during the season because he just would not be the quarterback that they paid all that money to. And then they had to put him back in the starting rotation because they didn't have no damn cornerbacks. And then he got hurt. It was like, this is what the Chargers do. They went out, got Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa is still there. Oh, it looks so great. Joey Bosa's coming back off of injury. He's going to do great. All this. I don't care. The Chargers are always going to be the Chargers. I don't care. It's just like the Cowboys. The Cowboys are going to be the Cowboys. At least with the Cowboys, like you said last night, at least they got some rings to their franchise name. The Chargers have no reason to be highly respected and have not won a ring in franchise freaking history. I do not get why the Chargers are always on somebody's radar, but I have never. I've lost faith in the Chargers years ago. They are the Clippers of the NFL. They are the Los Angeles Clippers of the NFL. Look good. Got a lot of nice names. Looks really good. When it comes to the time to really put it together, somebody's hurt. Somebody's not showing up. Somebody's not performing. Your coach don't know when it's time to call a timeout or not. You can't move the ball. It just your defense. The one thing that your ass is supposed to be good at is the worst part of your team. That is not good. And for some apparent reason, the Chargers organization looked at that last year and said it was our offense because they could not score in the second half. How about the fact that your offense gave you 28 points, them dudes scored 3 points in the first half, and you let them come back and beat you in a playoff game? That has nothing to do with your offense. You fired your offensive coordinator and got Kellen Moore from Dallas. Like, that shit is actually going to fix your offense. What the fuck? Okay, go ahead and just Dak Prescott how Kellen Moore is, and we can have a different conversation.
And that does kill me. 2 years in a row. 2 years ago on that Sunday Night Football game, the Chargers should have won. All right, I'm gonna say that again. Even though I'm a Raiders fan, you go back and watch that Sunday Night Football game. Justin Herbert was the best football player on that day.
You say that every time.
He was the best football player on that day. 4th and 20. Hell, it could have been 4th and 99. He probably still would have gotten it. That's how great he was. You needed 15, he gets you 16. You needed 25, he'll get you 26. You needed 55, he will run it himself for 57 yards. That's how great he is. That's how good he was on that Sunday Night Football game. Here was the issue for me that killed it. The Brandon Staley defense. All you have to do. I don't understand how you could play so well in the first half, and then the second half, it's like, who are these guys? Who are these guys for real?
I want to point out
all they had to do was play.
I want to point out the fact that that's been 2 games now where they have scored 20, 30 points in those games. Should be able to win those games because you scored that many points and the defense let them down. But yet, he's still a damn head coach. I have no idea how the hell that's possible. Continue.
literally, the Raiders literally said, okay, run it, run the clock. We're going to go home with the tie so we can both go in. And what does Brandon Staley do? He calls a timeout. And I'm like, you're trying to win this game? Okay. No. And then you call a timeout. And then on the presser, you said, the reason I called the timeout because we weren't set up in the right formation. We didn't have our best run stuffing defense out there. Josh Jacobs, the next play, ran for 12 yards to get a first down to make Daniel Carlson's field goal. If that was your best run stuffing defense unit, then I'm glad you called the timeout because I don't want to see your worst. That motherfucker might have taken it all the way to the house. Josh Jacobs might have taken it all the way to the fucking house, okay?
His head on a fucking pole.
Like, that would have been game.
No.
I'm glad you put your best to give Daniel Carlson a little bit of a harder kick. But, I mean, if you would have left your worst out there, Josh Jacobs would have taken that to the house if that's the case. If that's the fucking case. So, God forbid. Next year, literally 1 year to the day, 1 year to the day, you are up by so many touchdowns. I changed the channel. Because I said, I am done with this game. I am over it. The Chargers are going to win. They're going to move on, and they're going to take on Kansas City next week, and it's going to be amazing. I was already writing notes for our NFL Weekend Pick'em show, what we were going to look at, how awesome was it going to be, right? How awesome was that going to be? And no, I looked back up at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and I had to throw all my paper away, all the hard work notes I took, because you decided to give up 30-something odd points in the third freaking quarter.
Well, I did all that fucking work. He was like, this shit's for fucking not. What the fuck was that?
Like, here I am thinking, okay, Justin Herbert versus Patrick Mahomes 3. It's going to be such a great shootout. Can they repeat what they did today? That's, is the Chargers defense for real? And then in like 15 minutes, Jacksonville made me discredit everything I wrote in that fucking notepad. All right? Discredit everything I wrote in that notepad. Everything was gone. I threw it away, burned it, buried the ashes in the backyard. My dog has taken a shit on it already multiple times. All right. She knows it was doo-doo, and she took a crap on it. All right. That's how bad it was. All right. That's how bad it was for me. And here we go again. We're walking into another season of, the Chargers can figure. No, as long as Brandon Staley's the head coach, they're never going to figure it out. The Chargers need a real NFL coach. They need a real NFL coach. Not one where college schemes can fit. No. I'm talking real NFL head coaches. I'm talking people that deserve a shot to be an NFL head coach. I'm talking the Jim Caldwells of the world. I'm talking about the Jim Harbaughs of the world. I'm talking about the Steve Wilkes of the world, the Eric Bieniemys of the world. I'm talking about real NFL head coaches to give Justin Herbert a freaking shot. All right? A freaking shot. I'd be damned if the Chargers waste Justin Herbert's career. They already did that to Phillip Rivers. I would be damned if they waste Justin Herbert's career.
Almost did it to Drew Brees.
They almost did it to Drew. The best thing that ever happened to Drew, his shoulder got obliterated. Best thing ever. Best thing ever. That tells you everything you need to know about the franchise of the Los Angeles Chargers. Here we go again. We're walking to another offseason. Well, the Chargers might have had a collapse, but this year they're going to get it right. When? What? When? When Brandon Staley figures out how to be a coach? What the Chargers were able to do in 30, the Jacksonville Jaguars did that in half the time and came back and won the fucking game. And it wasn't even the fact that the Chargers couldn't do anything. Let's go to the fact that you decided to fire your offensive coordinator, and for good reason. You did 15 passing plays to 6 running plays. Austin Eckler only ran the ball 3 times in the second half. 3 times. And you mean to tell me I have all the time in the world because I'm up by so many points, and you're not going to even attempt to run the football? You deserve to lose. When is Brandon Staley going to get held accountable for this? When? When's he going to get held accountable? It should have been last year. We did it last year. How do you do this? How do you screw yourself out of an opportunity on our record? You're going to the playoffs. Take the tie. I know it's against your division rivals. But take the tie. This year, this last offseason, all the accommodations were for you to make this defense better. And somehow, significantly, it got worse. It got worse.
Here's my thing with Brandon Staley. It's easy when you have a fucking destroyer like Aaron fucking Donald to be the man in the middle. It's very easy to have Aaron Donald to be that guy. You don't really have to do shit. Let's be real. You got Aaron Donald. You ain't really got to do shit.
At one point, he had Aaron Donald. He had Jalen Ramsey, Eric Waddle. He also had other homeboy,
Leonard
Floyd.
Come on, man. Like, listen, I don't want to say the man got lucky. The man got fucking lucky. Like, let's be real about this for a second. And then on top of that, you didn't really have to do shit because, let's be real, Wade Phillips pretty much made that fucking defense. All you had to do was just not fuck it up.
Yeah.
Like, people, we forget that for some apparent reason.
People forget that Wade Phillips was the defensive coordinator for the Rams. And it's like, no, he built that defense. Wade Phillips built it. All Brandon Staley had to do was not fuck it up.
Not fuck it up. That's it. And now you're giving him a chance.
Oh, and then on top of that, you add Von Miller to your Super Bowl run. Of course it was supposed to be easy. Of course.
It was. I don't get how people don't understand that shit. Like, Wade Phillips made that defense. All he had to do was not fuck it up. That was literally the easiest fucking job I've ever seen somebody have in the NFL. And now you expect him.
Von Miller came after Brandon Staley left, but let's face it. All those names we named you, yeah, you're supposed to be good at defensive coordinator when you have those names on your team. Of course. I don't get it. I think
people don't understand this shit.
I don't get it where.
I think people don't understand this shit. Like, I know we got the Vikings coming up soon. Same thing with Kevin O'Connell. Like, dude, you got Cooper fucking Kupp. Your offense in Minnesota last year was literally throw the ball to Justin Jefferson. That was the offense. That was literally the entire offense. Same thing you did with the Rams. Just throw the ball to Cooper Kupp. That was it. That's the entire offense. So that kind of hurts your offense when you don't have any other fucking players that you even are trying to remotely get interested in. It's fucking bad. And that defense of the Chargers is going to stay bad. I don't know why the fuck people continue to think they're going to just magically become something special. No, because they don't have a real fucking coordinator to begin with. Their head coach is not a defensive coordinator. He's a lucky son of a bitch. That's all he is. He's one lucky son of a bitch. But to coach an entire defense, that ain't his shit. And it's never been. We got to stop acting like that.
I just want to point out that the Atlanta Hawks have clinched the 7th seed. I think they heard us this morning. So
yeah, I think they heard. I was watching the game. I was like, yeah, I think they heard us this morning. What the fuck was that? I was like, Miami.
Oh, show them. Like, yeah, dunk on their ass. Show them.
I guess we're reaching everybody. I guess we're reaching people. Who knew?
I'm like, who knew this, right? No, I'm tired of it. Like, when is he going to get held accountable? And I hope it's this year. I hope the Chargers have a great year this year. Because Brandon Staley needs a great year this year. Because if he don't get a great year this year, best believe he gone. He gone.
I don't trust the Chargers. I've never trusted the Chargers. I don't give a shit how many times people want to make them a Super Bowl team. How many times have I said this? The Chargers the Bills remind me of the Chargers of the early 2000s, where, they're going to always be in a conversation, and then they show up, and then they don't do shit. It's kind of what the Bills look like
In the
now.
90s,
The
yeah.
difference with the Bills and the Chargers then, Josh Allen is actually a mobile fucking quarterback. He can actually move. Phillip Rivers was a sitting fucking duck. like it's two different situations. That's the only thing that's better for the Bills other than the Chargers. But the Chargers, I've never had faith in them. I don't have faith in them. I lost faith in
And it
them in
sucks
2000.
because you look at Justin Herbert and you say to yourself, that's a kid that can win a Super Bowl. With all the talent he has,
That's
he
a
can take
dude.
18 to a Super Bowl.
How about this? He should be in the MVP conversation every fucking year.
People want to talk about him this year like he had a down year. Show me the down year. Show me the fact that he had one good set of ribs. He threw for 4,700 yards. Oh, what was his down year? He only threw 25 touchdowns. He had one good set of ribs.
And to be
The
honest,
other
25
ones were like
touchdowns
bone.
with 25 touchdowns, 25 pass touchdowns, right? Can we at least acknowledge the fact that Keenan Allen was out after week 1 for most of the fucking year, and Mike Williams got injured like right after that? Like, we gotta stop acting like he didn't have. They had no fucking weapons for like most of the fucking year. Like, and he still threw 25 touchdowns.
His weapons were DeAndre Carter and Donald Parham Jr. with Austin Eckler. Folks, you try winning with that. The problem is not the offense. It's the man who's supposed to run his unit, his specialty. That's the problem. And until that gets fixed, they will never amount to anything. Now,
I don't care what people say. The Chargers are not that good. I don't care what nobody say. The Chargers just they will never be that good. I don't know why people continue to think they are. I have no idea. But continue.
Now, off-season wise, they only did 2 things this year defensively. Morgan Fox, good situational pass rusher, and Eric Kendricks, longtime Viking, is now a Charger. And they're going to need that because Drew Tranquill is gone. Good. They also re-signed J.K. Scott, who's an excellent punter. They re-signed Donald Parham, who I just talked about, who's a very underrated tight end, and a sleeper fantasy tight end, if you guys really want my opinion. I think he's going to be a really sleeper fantasy. By week 8, he probably will be up there in really good reception because he is going to be sneaky good. Trey Pipkins, who I've known for a long time, and he's a solid right tackle. And that's what the Chargers were missing last year. They were missing. Brian Bulaga was just too old to hold that position down anymore, and they needed a. Trey Pipkins is not an old pro, and he's never going to get the respect that he deserves, but he is a solid right tackle. He's a solid right tackle, and that's what the Chargers need right now. They just need solid offensive line play. And obviously, Easton Stick, the understudy of Carson Wentz, he's going to be backing up Justin Herbert. That's how bad you got to know how bad you are. Like, they would rather put a man with one good rib than you completely healthy. Like, that should tell you everything you need to know about your NFL career. Start racking up that money, Easton Stick. Just rack it up, save it, and then just wait for retirement, bro.
That's a terrible fucking signing. That's a fucking terrible signing. If Justin Herbert really gets injured, you are so fucked. you are so
Justin Herbert had one good set of ribs this whole year, and they still said, "No, we're putting him out there."
What the fuck? It's a terrible signing, dude.
I'm just saying. It's hard to find a back.
Gardner Minshew, like all these other quarterbacks, it's like, nah, eat the stick.
They undrafted quarterback out of what was it called? No, what college did Carson went? North Dakota State University. That's right. North Dakota State University.
Yeah, that's bad. That's a bad signing. That sucks.
It's rough. Look, I'm gonna give this one a D. Because the only reason I give it a D is because there's really nothing more that the Chargers could have done. Yes, you added Morgan Fox and Eric Kendricks, but how many more years did they really have? Be honest. You added them out of necessity because your other free agents left. And you're just doing it for necessity at this point. So I do not know where. And then obviously, Donald Parham. Okay, great, that's fine. But other than that, I don't know. The Chargers really need to rework that defense. And can we just go to the fact that there was one play in Jacksonville, like the receiver was so open in the end zone that he caught it, and there was nobody within like 10 yards of him. And I'm thinking to myself, this is bad. It's about to get real ugly real freaking quick. So I give it a C. Or I'm sorry, I give it a D. Brandon, what do you give this team?
I would give it an F, but I feel like I'm giving out too many Fs. So I give it a D minus. I give it a D minus.
One step lower. That's one step lower.
I give you not an F, but it's damn sure teeter totter. It just depends. I give you a D.
Oh, and don't forget, by the way, that Rashawn Slater was also out for a majority of the season too, and he still threw for 4,700 fucking yards. So say what you want about Justin Herbert having a down year, but those are just fans that really, what the hell are you talking? If you can make those guys look good, damn, that's who I want as my quarterback.
I want people to understand something. What I'm about to say here, I give it a D minus because the signings that they made, the re-signings, you re-signed also Keenan Allen, which made no sense, but do your thing. But but do your thing, But to sign the guys you sign, it really does feel like this is like a do or die year.
Yeah,
it feels like it's like either Brandon Staley. Now we're getting you veterans.
I'm starting to think if there is any team out there that has more pressure heading into next year than the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm trying to think. Like I'm really trying to think. Like
maybe the Vikings, and that might
because they have to do it again. They have to do that again.
It's not that they have to do it again. They're literally in the NFC North where it's not even close. Like you can literally be the best team in the NFC North again, but if you don't show up in the playoffs, it's kind of like, this is over. Like we can blow this shit up now. And it feels like that Adam Thielen is gone. So it kind of does feel like they're kind of in that mindset of like, let's just blow this shit up and let's keep it pushing. But I don't know, man. This is such a, the Chargers are a D minus because of the players you got. You got them for veteranship, but you also got them because this might be the last fucking time you might be a head coach. And you're trying to get as much veteran leadership as you can get. But that's not the problem. That's not the problem at all. You just suck as a head coach. That's not the problem. You got veterans. You got guys. I mean, Joey Bosa stay healthy, and Khalil Mack can stay healthy, then maybe your defense will be better. But I mean, that's kind of the only thing.
Man, it's just what it is. So, all right, we'll see how it goes from here. But it is time. It is time to make our selections at pick number 21. So, Brandon, if you would please, sir, who do you have the Chargers selecting at pick number 21?
All right. With the 21st pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers will select B.J. Robinson, running back, Texas. This is the second time I am doing this for the Chargers. Last year, Kenneth Walker probably was a little early. Maybe, possibly. You went with Zay Johnson. Cool. But now it kind of looks like you kind of needed a fucking running back all along. Who knew? like, who knew? Like, and it's just, man, fuck. I'm giving you the best running back possibly that's kind of coming out. Like, this is projected. He could freaking fall anywhere. He could literally fall anywhere. After, like, maybe Atlanta, Chicago could take him. Like Philly can take him. It's a lot of places he could fall right after Atlanta.
I swear to God, if Philly takes Bijan Robinson, I swear to God, I'm all here for it. I'm here for the chaos at this point.
You already picked him to go to Atlanta, which is like just
no,
100%.
I had him pick one to the Eagles. I had him going to the Eagles. Get it right.
To the Eagles? Oh my God! If you go to the Eagles, that is hell on earth for NFL teams. that is a track meet that they can't stop. That's ridiculous. But
could you imagine
like Atlanta?
Could you imagine that, Micah? What's going on out there? They're fast. They're shifty. They stop. They're fast. Yeah, you said that already, bud. Yeah, you said that, buddy. Poor Vander. Like Vander is holding up there.
Demarcus Lawrence just looking at DeMarcus Lawrence is looking at everybody like, I'm not going back out there. Like, I refuse. I refuse to go back out there. Yeah.
We don't have to go back out there,
Yeah,
DeMarcus. They already scored on us. They already scored on us, bro.
I'm not going to go back out there. No. I'm seeing ghosts. I don't like it. But this is the second year in a row I gave the Chargers a running back. I'm hoping that you finally decide to do it because Austin Eckler has pretty much had it up to here. Like he is done.
That's what I wanted to get into. That is something.
He's
when you make
done. Like he's like,
yeah. Look, that is something we didn't talk about, and I'm glad you did bring this up. Listen, this is the second year in a row you're giving the Chargers a running back. Just like how I'm trying to give Atlanta future NFL Hall of Famers, but they never listen to us. Anyway, look. Last year, I didn't want to believe you about the whole Kenneth Walker thing. It would have been nice. But I didn't think they did at the time. I thought they had other issues. Is this a possibility? 100%. Should he fall that far? It's 100%. It's always on the table at this point. Because you are right. Austin Eckler has made it publicly known. I mean, he has made it public. Like, let's not act like all those were fake rumors. No, Austin Eckler has made it known that he is not happy. He is disappointed that there's no more contract talks. I can understand why he's pissed. Well, they're even asking him to take a pay cut because, dude, I led your team in receptions. I led your team in rushing yards. I led your teams in total touchdowns minus Justin Herbert. So you're telling me I have to take a pay cut?
The dude literally went on a podcast and said, I've already asked him for a trade request. I want out. Like if that don't make it more perfectly honest than that, it's just like, get me the fuck out of here. The fact also, we talked about this just a moment ago. The fact that they didn't even run him in the second fucking half of that game when you're literally up. All you had to do was run the ball. That is a problem. Listen, that's a huge fucking
it's
problem.
Not the disrespect. It's not disrespect Justin Herbert, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and those guys. It's no disrespect to them because they're all talented. But in the second half, when you're up that big, don't you want to give the ball to the best player on your team in that position?
Not just that. The fact that they went out there in the second half knowing that you have no receivers that can even sub in anymore because DeAndre Carter got hurt. I forgot, like Mike Williams, I think didn't even play. It's like Keenan Allen barely was on the field.
From Tennessee, the kid from Tennessee got hurt. He went down.
And like you had DeAndre Carter get hurt doing a punt return. Like, and then you still don't run the fucking ball. Like, how's that possible? You know you have no receivers in the second half.
I would 100%. I would be mad. Of course, I would look at them and be like, if y'all don't want to use me, then why am I here? Explain to me why am I here?
And that's why.
And here's the thing: he's still relatively, he's still young.
This is the dumbest I've seen. This is the dumbest. The Chargers are so stupid. It's just like you're up. Your options for receiving is kind of limited, and you still like, we're gonna throw the ball. We're gonna throw the ball because we got Justin Herbert. Nothing could go wrong with Justin Herbert. Yeah, it can.
At that point, you literally look at Justin Herbert and be like, we're going to live another day. We're going to try to figure it out during the week to prepare for Kansas City, and we're going to go from there. Listen, I don't know if this is the Chargers' plan. I don't know what happened between halftime and the third quarter, but something must have went down to only be run 6 times at that point. So
here's the thing.
I like the pick. Don't get me wrong. If Bijan Robinson is still on the clock by the Chargers, then I don't know why the Chargers don't look at it and be like, let's get these 2 now, and we'll waste up Austin Eckler's last year, and we got Bijan waiting in the wings.
Here's the thing. I've always said that Tony Pollard fit Colin Moore's offense way more than Ezekiel Elliott did. Bijan Robinson is a better Tony Pollard. A way better Tony Pollard. He can run, he can catch, He can do all the things you need him to do. If he goes to the Chargers, if that is the pick and they end up with him, I do believe this helps Justin Herbert, didn't hurt him. Now, if you're trying to make him into like this 5,000-yard passer, that ain't gonna help the Chargers. Period. Because we just saw it in the playoffs. You literally thought, let's just throw the ball all day and it's gonna work out, and it didn't fucking work out. So, for their sake, draft him, bring him in, let him be the Tony Pollard of your offense. Because if he does become that, the Chargers will not be a laughingstock like I think they are.
And that's very fine and dandy. You know, I would be pissed if he did go to the Chargers, because then at that point it's like, okay, we're done. All right, we have to figure out this defense. We have to figure it out because Bijan Robinson is coming to Los Angeles. That would suck for the rest of the AFC. That would suck for the rest of the AFC. That would suck for Denver. It would suck at that point.
I feel like you're saying about for yourself. You're like, we don't need that shit. We don't need no problems. Fuck that. No. Don't let him come here. Why would he come here?
If Bijan Robinson comes to the AFC West and he's not in a Raider uniform, I'm gonna be so pissed. So pissed. Like, listen, man,
Kansas
I don't care
City,
where he gets drafted.
Denver.
I hope he gets drafted. Just nobody from the AFC West. Please. Nobody from the AFC West. Please. Just nobody. Nobody.
You saying that
please.
shit? Now Kansas City gonna take him at 30. You saying that shit? Kansas City gonna take him at 31? You just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
I'd be like, oh no, that's it. Wrap the shit up, folks.
5 rings. Shit.
Man, that's it. Look, I wouldn't mind that. That's actually not a bad pick, especially for the Chargers' sake, to lay some pressure off Justin Herbert. That'll actually help him, like you said, more than it would hurt him. But I have to go back. I have to, you know me. I can't go Bijan Robinson. And I don't think Jahmyr Gibbs would fit with this Chargers team. I don't think he would.
He wouldn't.
I don't think he would fit. So running back to me is off the question at this point because Bijan Robinson is gone. He already went 11 picks ago to Philadelphia. He's going to cause havoc to the NFC East. That's where I'm at. Look, for me, I think it's really simple. I think the problem is they have good players. They just putting them out of position. You know, when I see Derwin James, they're asking him to do way too much. And that's what kills this defense. When you look at Joey Bosa, they ask him to do way too much, and that's why he gets hurt. You just saw it with J.C. Jackson. He got hurt. And that's the thing. It's, you know, you brought these guys in to be a certain player. Let them play that certain position. The Chargers lost the safety due to retirement. You know, Nasir Adderley from Delaware. 4 years ago, I saw him at the Senior Bowl, and I said, that dude's going to be a really good safety in the NFL. And he got drafted by the Chargers, and he had 4 solid seasons. Never made one Pro Bowl, never did anything, but he was a solid safety for the Los Angeles Chargers. Injuries nicked him up, and he literally said, I made my money. I'm done. You know what? I respect it. I respect it, bro. If you think you're done and you think your body can't do it no more and you're listening to your body, hey, I respect it, man. You were a hell of a competitor. I wish you all the best in retirement, man. And, you know, good luck to you, man. You know, good luck to you. I think for me now, what it really has to come down together now is they need a dog. They need a dog in this fight. I just mentioned it, you know, that there was nobody, the last touchdown that Trevor Lawrence threw, there was no safety help. There was no corner help within 10 yards because it was just miscommunication. They need a dog center field. They need a dog defensively in the center field. So that's why with my pick, with the 21st pick in the draft, I believe the Los Angeles Chargers will take Brian Branch, the safety out of Alabama. They need a dog, man. They need a dog. And he will actually release some pressure that Derwin James has to do. All right. Derwin James can go back to being natural Derwin James when he came out of FSU and was such a great player. You know, these last couple of years nicked up with injuries because they're asking him to do too much. Now it's like, okay, he can go back to being the strong safety. You can go back to that. You could team up with Brian Branch, communicate. You could put Brian Branch. I know Brian Branch is a strong safety in college. He's going to be better suited in the NFL for free safety for two reasons and two reasons only. One, should that shit happen again? It's not. It's because, you know what? Miscommunication. That's not going to happen again with Brian Branch. Two, you don't want him in the puddle because remember, he's not the biggest guy in the world. All right, Brian Branch is not the biggest dude in the world. He's only 6 foot, 200 pounds. But I'm not going to look past that. The dude can hit, but you don't want him in that situation. What you want to be is you want him to be what he was in Alabama when he got there. Control freak up in the middle, center fielder, safety, to where nothing gets past your two corners, whether that is Asante Samuel, whether that is J.C. Jackson, whether that is Bryce Callahan. You don't want that. You need another safety to team up with Derwin James to create this formidable safety duo to at least give your secondary a shot. And if you can do that, I think the Chargers can fix their problems in one turn with this safety. So that's why I have going Brian Branch, safety out of Alabama.
Solid pick. Solid pick. Yeah, you can't go wrong with either or because they need both. They need both.
And for two different purposes.
Yeah.
Bijan would be a luxury pick to help elevate Justin Herbert. Because at that point, we will know Austin Eckler is gone next year.
And on top
That's
of
not
that,
the issue.
And on top of that, you don't know how many games Keenan Allen or Mike Williams will actually physically fucking play.
Be there.
So you need a guy that can catch and run out the backfield.
If you take Brian Branch, you know you could put Derwin James back at his natural position, which is strong, and he's good to go.
Yeah.
And he'll be back to his all-pro self again. Neither pick would be wrong. And the Chargers need help at both. It's just, at that point at 21, who's really going to be there, you know? Who's to say that Brian Branch doesn't get drafted earlier than we all think? Who's to say that Bijan Robinson doesn't drop like we don't expect it? You know, we don't expect him to drop, but imagine if he did. We don't know. We don't know what these teams are thinking about. We don't know.
We really don't.
So, I mean, either way, at 21, whether they do the running back Robinson from Texas or Brian Branch, the safety of Alabama, it would have helped their team, and this would be Brandon Staley's last shot to prove that he deserves to be an NFL head coach. Because if he fails, I'm telling you right now, he's getting fired. He's getting fired, and the Chargers have to do something to bring in a real NFL head coach.
I feel like if they, he's in the conversation of getting fired early.
So
to me, he's in the conversation of getting fired early. That's weird. It's weird that they still have not given him any consequences for the way he calls his defense.
No, it kills me because for the last 2 years he hasn't been even held accountable. Like it's all in the wash. Like, oh well, with the Raider game, it was just bad luck with the Raider game. But with the Jaguars, that could have happened to anybody. No, homie, it only happened to you twice. It only happened to you twice. And you're not being held. And that's where the Chargers are always going to be the Chargers. Such a great team. They're going to get all the love in the world, and they're never going to amount to anything only because this guy is their freaking head coach. Until this changes, until he proves he can win with a formidable team, I'll start believing. Until then, the best thing that could happen to the Chargers right now, he gets fired and they bring in a real NFL head coach. I'm sorry. I'm never one to bank on another man losing his job, but it has to get done with the Los Angeles Chargers. Something has to get done. So there it is. That's our take on it. So that's going to do it for today. Brandon went with Bijan Robinson. I went with Brian Branch. So you guys let us know in the comments, who would you take? Would you take either or is it mine? We'll see. So these next couple days are going to be a little tricky. We're still going to shows. For Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to be doing 2 teams a day because we're off Friday, Saturday, be back Sunday. So this is how it's going to go. Tomorrow, the Baltimore Ravens, just in time, and the Minnesota Vikings tomorrow. Just in time. On Thursday, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we have the New York Giants on Thursday. like I said, we're off Friday, Saturday. We'll be back Sunday to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. And I don't think Brandon's going to like what I'm going to say. I don't think Brandon's going to like what I'm going to say.
About who? About
I'll
who?
say something to you on Sunday, and you're probably going to want to log off immediately. You're probably going to want to log off immediately.
What, Dallas?
Yeah.
You talking about Dallas?
I'm talking about Dallas.
You can't tell me anything more than just they're going to the Super Bowl, and that's about the only damn thing. I'm like, okay, I think you have lost your mind, but okay, that's okay.
What if I were to tell you right now, nobody
This
had a
sounds
better
like
offseason than the Dallas Cowboys?
I would disagree with that.
Okay, thank God. I'm like, oh, he's not going to log off, and I'm going to have to do a Cowboys show all by myself.
I don't think people don't understand the move.
I don't think people are understanding that the Dallas Cowboys are actually having a really good offseason.
Like, the move that Dallas actually made, you kind of look at it and be like, if they could put it together, yeah, that's some fucking good moves. If they could put it together, see, that's the key. If they can put it together,
that's the key word, right? Together is the
they
key
come
word
together and do it. We shall see if they can pull it together. That's it.
So tomorrow we'll be talking about Baltimore and their new addition to the team, Odell Beckham Jr. We will also be talking about the Minnesota Vikings. Really good or really lucky. On Thursday, we'll be talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars. What? On Thursday, we'll talk about the Jaguars. What are the next steps for Doug Peterson in the game? You notice how I said Doug Peterson and not Trevor Lawrence, right? Like,
yeah, I realized that. I heard you. I heard that perfectly clear.
Okay. I just want people to know, what are the next steps for Doug Peterson in the game to keep moving this team forward? And also, did Sean McDermott mess up by letting Brian DeBall go? I'm just saying. Is Brian DeBall really a quarterback whisperer? I don't know. We're going to discuss that on Thursday. So Jacksonville and the New York Giants on Thursday.
Oh, shit. We're going to get real interesting.
We're about to get real freaking interesting up in here.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. Here we go. We got to. I like that. That's going to be interesting. I like that. That's a good question. That's a really good question.
Did Sean McDermott mess up by letting Brian Daboll go?
Ooh, that's find
out. We'll get into that. We're gonna get into that Thursday, so that's gonna be Thursday.
That's gonna be like ooh, that's gonna be interesting. The only other question is, did the Giants lose their goddamn minds paying Daniel Jones all that goddamn money? Oh man.
That's another question. That's another question.
That's a whole other question, but
that's a whole other.
That's a real question. Let's not act like it's not a real question.
That's a real question for another time. But Friday, Saturday, we'll be back Sunday to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and what they need to do to compete against the Philadelphia Eagles and that NFC East. So that'll be that week, and then Monday through Friday, at that point, will be our final single episodes. Next Friday we will end it with the Kansas City Chiefs. So it's just pretty much go time from here on out. At this point, that's it. Now the 23rd, I'm still working on some people to get some additions for the Super Mock Draft Show on Sunday. So it's going to be amazing. It's going to be fun. I cannot wait. I think it's going to be super exciting. For me, it's going to be fun. And then, like I said, I'm going to try to get some people to show up and everything to join in. And then I'm going to let you know how the rules are going to go, because if we get too many people, I have to figure out how many picks are you guys all going to get, all that good stuff. But that'll be on the 23rd, Super Mock Draft Show on the 23rd, where each of us will do individual, no trades, just straight up, different opinions, different views on how it's all going to go. So that's going to be on the 23rd of Sunday. So we're almost done, folks. Almost done. Literally, it's almost draft day. We are literally 16 days away from the draft, and I am so excited for it. It's go time, folks. I hope you're ready. Hope everybody's ready, but it's about to go. It's about to get down. So, like I said, Baltimore, Minnesota tomorrow, Jacksonville Giants Thursday, Dallas Cowboys on Sunday. So, Brandon, get your notes ready. It's go time. Yeah, exactly. Everybody, so much for tuning in. As always, you can always come back later, watch the videos as we load them up. Thank you so much for the support. We will be back tomorrow, same time, same place. For always, I'm good old JR. That's Brandon. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.